leaderboard. This is week 2. Now, let me tell you a couple things about the leaderboard before we get too far into it.
Let's talk about this.
So, first of all, we had over 39 to 40 sportscasters that have been put into the actual system, and they have had predictions recorded by you guys in the actual app in order to hold them accountable for the predictions that they made.
That's good.
But there has to be some qualifications as far as making it to the actual top 10 list, right?
Not everybody getting on that leader. Not everybody will make it.
And here's why. The qualifications are necessary because you had some people who may have only had like one prediction logged. And if they have one prediction logged in the actual system and they were right on that prediction, they're 100%.
Exactly.
That's not that ain't gonna fly. You can't have one prediction be 100% and think that's gonna put you at the top of the actual league. That's not how it's gonna work.
Because you make one prediction all year and then you just sit at the top.
And you just hold on to it.
Right.
So what we're going to do is we require, and this is in the official rule book that we have, we require a minimum of 2 predictions recorded per week of the NFL season. Okay. So since we're in week 2, anyone to be eligible to make the actual list had to have at least 4 total predictions recorded in the actual app. Does that make sense?
Right. So week 1, you make 2 predictions. It could be a Thursday night game, Sunday game, or a Thursday night game, Monday night game, or 2 games on Sunday, whatever it is. That's for week 1. And then as we move into week 2, 2 more predictions, whatever those predictions are. And then that's how we got to this top 10 list that we're at now.
Yeah. So now, even with the requirement of them having at least 4 predictions made, since we're in week 2, then after you are eligible to be on the leaderboard, then we rank people on how successful their prediction was based on percentages. Right? So the eligibility was the number of predictions, and then we rank based off that. So we had maybe of the 38, 40 sportscasters in the system, we had 20, 21 of them that were actually eligible. And now we're going to show you the top 10 as far as percentage of predictions made. Fair enough?
That's fair.
All right, let's get to it. All right, here we go. All right, so we're starting with number 10. Number 10 is Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor, she was 8 of 15 at a 53.3% success rate on her actual predictions. Are you familiar with Joy Taylor?
I'm not familiar with Joy Taylor.
Let me tell you a little bit about it. Joy Taylor is a sports commentator on The Speak. The Speak. I don't know if you watched that show.
I don't think I've seen that show.
I watched the show, and you're going to be surprised about the actual Speak. But the first thing I want to say about Joy Taylor and the fact that she is cracked the top 10 is that, it's a sport, but this sport is even killed. There's not a physical component to it, so it's all cerebral. So women who decide to support the actual league, it's a fair playing field.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there are some people of the masculine persuasion that didn't make the top 10. A lot of people that didn't make the actual top 10. The top 10. So, keep that in mind. But Joy Taylor, she broke into the actual top 10, 8 of 15, and she made a significant number of predictions. Now, and let me tell you another thing about the predictions here. These are only the predictions that are captured in the actual app.
Right. That's key. Because, a lot of these sportcasters, like we said earlier, we're not able to capture all these predictions. But based on the predictions that we have captured, this is the number, the data that we do have. And this is the only, sports data that is actually out there. So this is the data.
Yeah, this is the data.
This is the data.
What our hope is, as we get more people involved, more people to kind of catch on, they'll download the app, and we have more people submitting data in there. So we may be able to capture. And I'm not saying this isn't all the predictions that she made, because I scoured and looked at all these shows throughout the actual week trying to find predictions, and based off what I saw and based off what other people actually input in the app, she made a total of 15. She was 8% correct. Now, one question here: did you think 53.3% success rate would be at 10? I thought that was kind of high. I don't know exactly why I thought, it was going to be some person at about maybe a 60-65% would be number 1.
Right.
So the fact that she's at number 10 at 53.3, I thought that was really high.
And I remember we were discussing it when we first started talking about it, what percentage would actually, what would be deemed, a top sportscaster.
We had no clue.
And now we actually have numbers where it's just like, okay, we're above 50%. So
already at number 10.
More than half.
So that's number 10, Joy Taylor. All right, let's go to the next analyst. At the number 9 spot, we have Stephen A. Smith.
Whoa.
Stephen A. Smith ranked number 9. He was 3 of 5. 60% successful. And he comes in at the number 9 spot. Have to be honest with you, I didn't think he'd crack the top 10.
Really?
I didn't think he would, but see, that's the whole point. Like we don't know exactly how these people, how how well they analyze it, because there's never been data to support it. It's
Right.
always been subjective. But Stephen A. Smith proved me wrong in week 2. I have to be honest.
Okay.
So he cracked the top 10. I'm actually surprised to see him, but I'm not. It doesn't hurt my feelings or anything. I mean, if he cracked the top 10, he cracked it.
I had high hopes for Stephen A. just because I know how, I guess just because I know how much he, I guess, loves the game of basketball and football. Like those are kind of like his go-to sports. So I was actually expecting him to be higher on the list. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I just know how much time he actually puts into like understanding like the history of basketball and like just
you're high on Stephen A. Smith, bro.
Yeah.
I don't get it. You're high on Stephen A. Smith, man. So, you're high on him. Okay, well, cool. Be a fan.
Yeah, right.
Everybody needs fans. Of course, if you don't know, Stephen A. Smith says that every time he's being interviewed, he's host of the longest highest rated sports show for 11 years, First Take. So everybody should know who Stephen A. Smith is.
Is that 12 now from that last podcast that he was on?
Let's go ahead and move up to number 8 and see who's in the number 8 spot.
Let's see.
In the number 8 spot, we have Ryan Clark.
Okay.
My guy.
Yeah, that's your guy.
I said in episode 1, if anybody watched it, Ryan Clark is one of my favorite sportcasters. I'm a big fan.
I think he's very objective.
I'm a big fan. And Ryan Clark, Ryan Clark operates in sportscasting for me in the same vein of a Stuart Scott.
Okay.
He's classy. I can't really recall him getting out of pocket, out of character, because sometimes people just say things that are wild, and I don't really recall Ryan Clark doing that. And I'm not saying he didn't. It's possible I didn't see it, but whenever I watch him, I'm always impressed as far as how he goes about his profession and how he goes about his sports commentating.
I think people were getting on him that one time when he made a comment about Tua and something about Tua and his weight gain or something like that, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah,
Ryan Clark, he's like a Swiss Army knife, man. I've seen him on all kinds of shows. Like I want to pin him down on, pause. I want to say that he was on a particular show, but as far as my notes here, I just have him ESPN on multiple programs because I've seen him on multiple programs. But Ryan Clark cracks the top 10. He's at the number 8 spot at a 66.7% successful rate on his predictions.
Okay,
let's move to the number 7 spot. At number 7, we have Emmanuel Acho. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Are you familiar with him?
I have no idea who that is.
Okay, I know him. He is also a host on The Speak, the same program that Joy Taylor is on, and he was 12 of 18 at 66.7%. Now, he is, as you notice, he is above Ryan Clark, even though they're at the same percentage. He's above Ryan Clark because the tiebreaker is number of predictions.
Oh, okay.
And he has a significantly higher number of predictions than Ryan Clark at 18.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm a fan of Ryan Clark, though. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm sorry. I say Ryan Clark. Emmanuel Ocho. Am I a fan? You know what? He does a good job. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a fan. The Speak wasn't really a show that I really paid much attention to.
I'm going to check it out now that I see these numbers and see what they got going on over there.
But I can tell you, I've seen the top 10. You haven't. Okay. And I can tell you, The Speak, we're going to talk about The Speak a little bit more because there may be something to be said about The Speak. Okay. All right. Let's move to the next actual spot. In the number 6 spot, we have Shady McCoy. Shady McCoy, ex-running back in the NFL. 13 of 18 at 72.2% success rate on his predictions.
That's solid.
He is also a host on The Speak.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The
Speak has 3 people currently already in the top 10.
Okay.
Shady McCoy, he had something that went viral. I can't really think of what it was. I'm not going to hold everybody up on it, but Shady McCoy, I like him as a commentator. He's very direct. He's very knowledgeable. Obviously, he played in the actual league a considerable amount of time at a very high level.
Right.
I'm a Shady McCoy fan. So
on The Speak, we got Shady McCoy, Emmanuel, and Joy.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's.
And it seems like they make a lot. Okay.
They make a lot of predictions.
They make a lot of projections.
They make a lot of predictions on The Speak.
From what I'm seeing, I mean, they're at a high accuracy rate. So I mean,
they do make a lot of predictions. And once again, at number 6, we're at 72.2%. That's high.
Yeah, that's
at number 6.
Yeah, that's insane.
Okay, all right, let's go ahead and move to the next spot. Next spot, in the number 5 spot, we have Mike Vick.
Okay.
All right. Now, Mike Vick, he was on he was on Fox NFL Kickoff. And on Fox NFL Kickoff, he made some solid predictions. And Mike Vick is Mike Vick. I mean, people love Mike Vick. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to say it. I'm happy to see Mike Vick in the situation that he's in after everything he actually went through. Definitely. Seeing Mike Vick bounce back the way that he's bounced back and have success that he's had, I could not be happier for the guy. Right. I really, really, really Not a sportscaster. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Mike Vick as far as what he actually did on the field.
Oh, yeah.
During his time on the actual field at Virginia Tech, right? At Virginia Tech, and the Falcons, the Eagles.
Yep.
I mean, tremendous player, tremendous talent, like generational talent.
Right.
To see him having some success here and to see him crack the top 10, I could tell you, if you would have gave me 50 guesses, I don't think I would have guessed Mike Vick.
Neither.
And he's high too. He was 3 or 4, so he met the minimum of 4.
Right.
Okay, and he's at 75%.
Okay. So he's got from what I'm noticing, he's got a low prediction number. So I'm curious to see how he does next week.
Yeah.
To see if he kind of continues on I guess on the trajectory that I guess you got the Shadys and the Emmanuels on, because based on how this list is looking and these numbers, as I believe the Speak probably third week, I think they're
gonna start breaking apart.
Yeah, they're gonna start breaking apart.
We'll see. The Speak does have some benefits of being a high volume predictor. Because they can take a couple L's.
They can take L's.
And it won't impact them as dramatically. Mike Vick, if he takes an L next week,
boom,
even 1 or 2 L's, he could be knocked
down
completely out the top 10.
Exactly.
So there is some benefit of these sportcasters making a high volume of predictions.
And once again, leader,
we're not saying that they're not making the predictions. We're saying we just couldn't capture all of them.
Right.
And that's where you guys come in. Get part of this. Let's help figure out exactly who is the best sportscaster on a quantitative basis.
Right, because if you think about it, like I was saying, like I never watched the Speak, but someone obviously is watching the Speak to actually get these predictions in. So
exactly.
I mean, I'm finding out about new sportscasters, and that's the beauty of this app is just we're putting quantitative data behind these sportscasters, which kind of opens up your eyes to new sportscasters, where it's just like, maybe I should go check them out. Maybe I should go listen to them to see what points they have, because as you're watching sportscasters and it's all based on a subjective basis, you kind of fall into like I guess in a rhythm with them, in a sense where it's just like you're not really looking at other sportscasters or actually taking in other opinions from other people. So you're just kind of going with like the status quo of kind of what's going on. So now it's just like this. I feel like the app is going to open up a whole new realm of what sportscasters actually get watched and who we actually listen to.
Exactly. Like who should be considered credible.
Right.
Like
exactly.
if you're watching a sportscaster that hasn't cracked the top 10, or you're watching a sportscaster who, if you look at their data, they're only 20% successful, man, you're feeding yourself trash pretty much. Like, I mean, come on now. So that's why I think it is so unique and so the value is in here. You get the quantitative data, and now it's just not a subjective issue as far as who you like, but it's actually who's good at what they're supposed to be doing, which is analyzing these games and these matchups.
Exactly. And I think that's what the key is with the NSL app. It's like we're going down to like the nitty gritty, it's the raw data of like, are you actually good at what you're doing? Like, are you actually right in the picks that you're making? It's like you said, it's not subjective based at all. It's literally, are you who you say you are, in a sense,
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, let's move to the next one here. Coming in at the number 4 spot, we have James Jones. James Jones, believe it or not, 18 picks, 18 predictions, 14 of 18 at 77.8. I'll give you one guess what show he's on.
Don't say The Speak.
The Speak. He's on The Speak. The Speak has some people that are making predictions, and they're very accurate with their predictions. They're very entertaining with their commentary. Like I said, I like Shady McCoy on the actual Speak. And like I said, Emmanuel Acho, I like him on The Speak as well. But if I had to say who was my best as far as character and personality, it would be Shady. But James Jones, as far as accuracy, he's above all of them at 77.8%.
Now, did he was he in the league did he play any sports?
I have to research that. I think he did, but don't quote me on that. I don't want to misspeak, but I definitely think he did play some time in the actual league.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check him out.
All right. Let's go to the actual next position at the number 3 spot. Now we're in the top 3. We have, boom, Keyshawn Johnson.
Oh, okay. Keyshawn.
Key. Key is on Undisputed. Key is the actual only commentator on Undisputed that cracked the top 10. We're not gonna go there yet.
They got a football team over there.
When I watch Keyshawn, though, sometimes Keyshawn seems like he's the person on the show that's trying to keep logic and civility and sanity in some of the people's picks. Because sometimes, when you're dealing with
Michael Irvin, right?
Skip Bayless, Michael Irving, and Richard Sherman. That's the new squad. That's the new squad over there.
Like a mess.
But Keyshawn Johnson sometimes
it's probably entertaining.
It's very entertaining. It seems like he's just trying to keep everybody like, all right, let's stay in reality here with these picks. So let's stay in reality with what you're saying. Do you understand what you're saying right now?
Right.
So he's very
grounded in a sense.
Very grounded, very logical in his actual predictions. Right. Whereas sometimes Skip Bayless, I think he just making picks to
because I think a lot of like you're saying, because I want to say like Skip, and then you have Michael Irvin, and then you have Richard Sherman. Like I feel as though they're very over the top, people in a sense. So I can see how some of their picks may be, kind of off base in a sense. But okay, shout out to Keyshawn.
There's nothing wrong with being over the top,
right?
Because once again, there you go.
Be accurate.
Once again, I don't care if they're over the top. I don't care if they, if they're belligerent. I don't care if they're rude. The NSL league and this actual league doesn't care about any of that.
None of that.
We may talk about that in a subjective conversation, but as far as this top 10 concerned, it doesn't take into account their belligerency or their character or anything of that nature. It just takes into account their knowledge about the games and how they analyze the actual matchups. That's it.
Okay.
All right. Let's move to the number 2 spot. Now, we have Maria Johnson. And if you notice, she's T1. She's tied for the first place spot. 4-4, 100%. She hasn't missed one yet. Because she barely cracked the eligibility at 4, a bad weekend can knock her out the top 10 as well.
Right.
But for now,
she's
on week two, she is tied for first. And she is a host on Football Night in America. And she has some guest spots on other ESPN programming.
Okay, so Sunday night. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to because I watch Sunday Night Football, but I don't think I've heard of Maria Johnson before. So
I think she played like volleyball or something, like maybe for the Olympic team. I don't know. But I know she's an athlete. She's an ex-athlete in the college level, and I think she may have, like I said, played Olympic trials or something like that. I'll have to do more research on her, but she definitely deserves more research considering that she's tied in the first place spot. Once again, a woman though,
right?
A female.
Shout out to her.
So shout out to her. Shout out to Maria Johnson. And I've never really I've never really watched her. I had to do some research once I saw that the data had her at the number 1 spot. So I did a little research on her. But like I said, I've never really really been that aware of her talent or her ability to properly analyze these games. So
right. Do you think it's
time will tell. I don't have to think.
Right.
All I have to do is continue to wait for the data to come into the actual app, and we'll see exactly if she maintains that spot or if she falls out. Like I said, she only has 4 picks.
Right.
A bad weekend, she's out the top 10.
Right, definitely.
Another good weekend though.
She'll sit up there.
So let's see what happens. So would you like to take a guess as far as who tied for first with Maria Johnson?
Ooh. The way this list is shaping up, it looks like, I won't say no-namers, but it's a lot of people that, it's not the top-ranked analysts.
It's not a no-namer. It's someone who I know, I'm a fan of everybody. I know this gentleman. I've watched him on multiple different programs. You should be familiar with this person. It's not a no-namer.
Max Kellerman?
No. All right. Max Kellerman, unfortunately, did not crack the top 10. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think he was even eligible. I don't think he put in enough sports. He did enough predictions to make the eligibility requirement. So I'll go ahead and display the top and number 1 with Maria Johnson. We have Chris Broussard.
Oh, okay, Chris
Broussard.
Okay.
I like Chris Broussard.
Yeah.
4-4, also at 100%. Chris Broussard is a host on First Things First. Now, here's the funny part about it is, you know who he sits across from on First Things First? Nick Wright.
Oh my God.
Nick Wright is a co-host with Chris Broussard. You would think Nick Wright would shut up sometimes and learn something, but
we'll
no.
Get to Nick Wright.
Nick Wright just continues to actually be Nick Wright.
Shout out to Chris.
Shout out to Chris Broussard, man. Chris Broussard ends the top 10 list. He's at number 1 at week 2 of the data that's being sent into the National Sportscaster League application available on the Apple Store. Please go and download that app. Also do us a favor, comment, subscribe, go to our YouTube page. Let's hit that like button, comment, tell us what you think about these videos, the content that we're putting out here. We really want to hear from you guys and see exactly what you think about the information that we were able to gather on the actual application. So what do you think?
I want to hear what happened. Well, shout out to Chris Broussard and shout out to Maria Johnson for the first the first 2 weeks of the leaderboards, tying for top, for the number 1 spot. That's dope. So I'm